Writing my autoethnography was a really cool experience for me. Honestly, I had never really sat down and taken the time to analyze my life and think about the things that had happened that make me the way I am today. So it was really cool to be able to sit down and think about those things. So that was a picture of me and my three older brothers. A big part of my autoethnography is me talking about how it was growing up with three older brothers and how that impacted me and my opinions on life. My neighborhood that I grew up in was a really great neighborhood. Everyone interacted with each other, everyone was friends. All our parents were friends. I went to school with everyone. They knew my older brothers. It was a very typical suburban neighborhood, like white picket fence kind of situation. And so I started out my paper by talking about that and talking about how that impacted me and how, as I got older, I realized that it wasn't this picture perfect life that I saw it as when I was a child. When I was 6 years old, I ended up moving a few streets over, and it was still our picket fence neighborhood, but I was exposed to things that I wasn't used to. I ended up becoming close friends with an Indian girl on my street named Nisha, and she changed my perspective on a lot of things. Like, she was my first friend that I had that wasn't exactly like me, and she introduced me to her culture. And I remember as a child being like, oh, this is kind of weird, but now looking back, I see how good it was for me. Right before middle school, I moved across the state to Midland, and this was probably the biggest change in my life and a huge part of why I am the way I am today. Um, it was crazy. I went from my white picket fence neighborhood, which I've said over and over again, to this school that was in a sketchy part of town, and I had become the minority, and it was crazy. So here's a picture of me on the first day of school, my freshman year, um, where I was completely shocked. And we had uniforms. As you can see, they were very cute, but unlike my schools in Houston, in Midland, we couldn't be trusted to dress ourselves, so we had uniforms. But I made it through high school and I learned a lot and went to college, and here I am now, and I've learned so much and I've become my own person. I'm more responsible, I'm more driven, I know what I want, I'm more aware of the people around me and my own actions, and I think a lot of that is due to my childhood and my younger years where I realized that not everyone is like me, and that's okay.